Jets at Steelers, we're looking at the over and under specifically. Marco, I like the under. And the reason is, and I talked about that in the first video that we did that broke down the side of this game, is I think Pittsburgh's only susceptible against a great passing team. And the Jets are not a great passing team. And to me, quite frankly, on the offensive side, I think the Jets are comparable to the Ravens. I think Flacco's probably a slightly better quarterback than Sanchez, though I'm not a big Flacco fan. And I think that the Jets, so that makes the Jets a little lower. I think the Jets have a better receiving core. And Holmes, let's be honest, we benefited for a long time, is a great on-the-field player. I mean, amazing. So let's call their offense even. And how does Baltimore do? How these teams that think they're tough, there's one team that's the toughest. It's the Steelers. And these teams.
He's not a homer, folks.
Well, I'm just looking at the math. I mean, 63 yards on the ground, historic. I tell you, this is getting inside baseball a little bit, but Ziggy Hood is starting to play. And Aaron Smith was out, and that was the big talk. And he's actually now, just today on Wednesday, saying likely to play at least some series. So now, he's supposedly one of the best DNs in the whole league in the 3-4. Let's say he's at 80% or whatever. Ziggy Hood is borderline. He's certainly in the top half of the league right now. The way he's playing is. Well, you tell me. When's the last time a team without a great quarterback really put up the points?
They don't. I mean, you're right. The only way to beat the Steelers is you got to go airborne. And Sanchez, I don't know if he can do that. The only concern with taking an under, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, is that we know you can't run on the Steelers, so you're going to try to beat them through the air. So many times the Steelers create points off their defense when they force offenses to go out of their comfort zone.
I agree with you, and in a way it speaks to why I think the Steelers as the side is such a strong play, is if the only counter, the only devil's advocacy that you can have is not that the Jets are really going to march up and down the field, but Pittsburgh might pick one off and push it over the total. It really does speak. You got a team that they're saying is an even team. You got a team. So by a 3 or 3.5 point line, you're saying Pittsburgh's slightly better, 3 points for the home. And now we're saying we know the Jets are going to have a lot of trouble. So either Pittsburgh's going to have a lot of trouble too, which is going to make it way towards the under, or Pittsburgh, the side, is unbelievably great value, because if Pittsburgh's able to score, the Jets are going to have trouble here.
I've got a stat that's going to blow your mind.
I'm ready.
On the over-under. When you think of Pittsburgh and you think of playoffs, the vision that you have conjured up in your head is, the steel curtain, defense, blah, blah, blah. The Steelers played a lot of playoff games. Do you know that the last 17 home playoff games for the Steelers, I'm taking a group, last 17, the Steelers have gone over 13 of the 17 playoff games. And that's something, if you asked me to bet, do a bar bet, I wouldn't have.
No, I agree 100%. And I would, and that's a great stat. I would bring up 2 points that questions the how applicable it is. One is 17 home games is going way back. The most you can play in a year, I guess you could play 3 if you got really lucky. But on average, you're going to be playing 1 a year, even if you make the playoffs every year. So you're going way back. Most of those are under Coach Cowher, Bill Cowher, and we all know, as good as he was in the regular season, he was, in my opinion, a below-average playoff coach. And the rationale from the insiders was the Steelers would get so tense. It would be like the whole year is like, his jaw's out and the spit's flying. And to me, that makes a team play outside of their comfort zone, which never helps anything. So under Tomlin, and again, that's the catch-22, is we don't have enough games under Tomlin. So I think that's an interesting stat, and you're right. Usually if the public thinks defense, you want to go over. I think in specific, and just like the public thinks offense with Aaron Rodgers, so you want to go under. I agree you want to be contrary. I just think that this Steeler team is so specific that unless you can throw, and that was my second point, a lot of the times in the playoffs, you're getting the teams that can throw. I mean, let's be honest, this is a quarterback league now.
Right.
So when you're playing Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, no team could stop. There's no team in the league that can stop a great passing team.
Well, if I said the last 4 years, name the quarterbacks that have been in the most playoff games in the AFC would be Phillip Rivers for San Diego, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning, three of the best passing guys in the league, and obviously you would face all of those guys.
To me, the Jets and the Ravens are very similar teams. Young quarterbacks, smash mouth, and to me, Pittsburgh has played the Ravens so well. Now it's 7 straight with Big Ben suiting up that it really makes you wonder. I think we've got an analogy, and to me, like I said, the only thing that causes me any pause on this is I really believe the Steelers are going to score. I said it last week, is this offensive line has come around. And this is what a lot of people, even the quote-unquote experts, are saying, oh, the Steelers' offensive line is beat up. It was beat up during that game, but Flozell Adams was out with some kind of severe illness during the game. He's been practicing 100%. Jonathan Scott got some kind of stinger, and he was out for half the game, and then he came back. And they were deep down to their last lineman. But now they're as healthy, assuming those guys are near 100%, they're as healthy on the line as they've been since they lost their left tackle in week 6. So this is a healthy line, and Pouncey, the center, is playing great. I love Pittsburgh here. I like the under.
Okay.
All right, now it's your turn to continue the conversation in the comment section with Marco and me. And next up, we're going to start a new series. Marco's going to give us 2 or 3 minutes on a basketball handicapping concept, and we're going to be right back with that.